Welcome back, viewers. The Indian hockey team qualified for the semi-final in the men's hockey event after a hard-fought victory in the penalty shootout against Great Britain. But the win was marred with a whole lot of controversies, which has again once raised the question mark over the umpiring standards at the Paris Olympics. The first objectionable decision was to hand a red card to India's defender Amit Rohidas, which meant that the men in blue had to play with a player down for nearly 40 minutes. Watch it in normal speed or in slow motion, by no means was that incident worthy of a send-off. Now, from the first look, it was clear that Amit's stick had hit his opponent by accident as they jostled for the ball, and there was no intent or malice in the Indian defender's actions. Now, the on-field referee agreed that it was actually a coming together incident, and again, this was again a reason, something that a red card was shown to him after a video referral. Now, the red card not only meant that India played the remainder of the match with just 10 men, it also meant that they will miss Amit's services in the crucial semi-final against Germany. The Hockey India, of course, has raised also several concerns about the quality of officiating, claiming that it could potentially have influenced the outcome of the game, which luckily did not happen thanks to the 9 outfield men and also the great wall Srijesh. Now, the second controversy was over the opposition goalkeeper getting a coached from behind the goalpost during the penalty shootout, which also is not allowed as per the rules. And also, if that was not enough, Britain's goalkeeper was also caught by Indian support staff using an iPad during the penalty shootout. After a protest was raised, the officials confiscated the device.
एक चीज हमने इस मैच में देखी वो थी अंपायरिंग। कहीं ना कहीं आपको लगता है वो थोड़ा सा एक कॉज ऑफ कंसर्न है? कुछ कहना चाहेंगे उन चीज़ों के बारे में? जो जीबीआर के गोलकीपर थे वो शूट आउट के दौरान नोट्स लेकर भी आ गए थे, तो थोड़ा वहां पर भी हम देख रहे थे टाइम वेस्टेज हो रहा था। तो अंपायरिंग को लेकर आप क्या कहेंगे?
कुछ एम्पायरिंग मैच के दौरान मेरे ख्याल से जो रेड कार्ड बना, मेरे ख्याल से इंटेंशनली उन्हें जानबूझ के हिट नहीं किया है, पहली बात। और एक ग्रीन कार्ड भी जो सुमित जी को मिला। सो कई सारे इस लेवल में जो जहां ओलंपिक्स क्वार्टर मैच हो रहे हैं, दोनों टीम जीतना चाह रहे हैं, लेकिन एम्पायरिंग को ध्यान में रखना होगा। और हाँ, एम्पायरिंग के ऊपर जो 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 दिखा वो होना नहीं चाहिए।
All right, but this isn't the first time India has actually been at the receiving end of some shoddy refereeing. Boxer Nishant Dev was yet another person who missed out on a medal because of this. He was competing in the quarterfinals of the 71 kg event. He was robbed of a victory despite dominating his opponent from Mexico. In fact, there were serious concerns as to how his rival won the second round despite Nishant totally outplaying him and also landing significantly more punches. Right. Let's now take a quick look at some breaking news that's coming in as far as the Paris Olympics game and also the hockey lineup of India is concerned for the semi-finals. It's a big setback for the Indian hockey team. International Hockey Federation has rejected India's appeal. One-match suspension of Amit Rohidas will remain. This means that the key defender will be missing out on the Olympic semi-final, and it's going to be a big setback for India as well. Right, so this is a big setback for the Indian hockey team. Like I said, India had appealed to the International Hockey Federation about the red card that was given out for Amit Rohidas over a scuffle that actually happened. In a way, there was an accident that took place, but a red card was handed out, which India thought was something that Amit Rohidas did not deserve. And because of this, now the key defender will have to miss the Olympic semi-final. And again, this is going to have a major impact on India's hockey campaign as far as Olympics is concerned. Now, we are talking about dodgy decisions. We are talking about some very bad refereeing and also officiating at the Paris Olympics. And to discuss this in detail with us, joining us on our broadcast are our guest Edgar Mascarenhas, who's a former international hockey goalkeeper, and also Ranjit Bajaj, who is a sports enthusiast. Edgar, we had a discussion yesterday about the game, and one of the points that you mentioned was about the officiating, the refereeing, which could have been much, much better. And now looks like it has become a full-blown controversy. How do you look at this? Because whatever said and done, the fact remains that India will be missing out on the services of one of its main players in a very crucial game.
Well, see, the umpire has given a red card, and a red card means you miss that one match, and the match that you're playing is missed by you. The Indian team definitely will miss Amit Rohidas in the semifinals. One is because he's one of my greatest defenders in running out for PCs. But I'm sure Coach Fulton has already planned, like they have planned in yesterday's match to overcome Great Britain. Now, regarding the red card, the umpire who was officiating the match was right in front over there. And he has seen it all, what has happened. And he also mentioned that it was accidental. So there was no need for him to go up to the third umpire. He could have given Amit the yellow card and let Amit, okay, if he felt it was harsh, he could have given him the yellow card and made him sit for maybe 15 minutes, 20 minutes, but not miss a crucial, keeping in mind the semifinals that was at stake. You know, he shouldn't have done that and gone up to the third umpire when he was closest out there to see what has happened. It wasn't so bad an infringement that was caused. There was no bleeding. The player who got hit, not even hit, I would say, has played the entire match after that. So it is, I think, a very harsh decision
Right.
where Amit is concerned and where India is concerned as well. Uh, Looking at it, obviously, we will feel that, you know, the umpiring is going against us. Again, to come where the coaching was concerned, this was all should have been seen right from the first shootout that was taken. The iPad was very evident over there, right in front where the goalkeeper had carried it. I seen him carrying it. You could see it on screen that he was carrying it and going up there. That could have been seen by
Right.
the officials, but they didn't pay notice to it. Only after the support staff of India has brought it up, that's when they came and you know they confiscated it. So I mean, it's a little
Exactly.
difficult to understand as to what's happening over there.
Right, right. Edgar, like you rightly pointed out, of course, a lot of shocking developments there. And the fact of the matter is the fact that it's all going against India is something that Indian fans right now will be sitting and, of course, talking about. But fortunately, that did not cost us the game. We still managed to go ahead. We've reached the semi-finals, though it is going to have an impact on our campaign in the semi-final, given that Amit's services will be missed. It is something that needs to be spoken about. And again, it's a big setback for Team India. But again, the other person at the Paris Olympics who wasn't as lucky as the Indian hockey team was Nishant Dev. Ranjit, let me come to you over this now. We all saw the game. We all saw how dominant Nishant was. In fact, during the game, I was already looking at the tweets talking about how he was ruthless, how he was aggressive, and how he was dominating his opponent. And then suddenly you look at the scores and he's lost. It's just unbelievable. What we saw in the ring did not align with the scores.
Um, Good evening, Ashish. Thank you so much for having me here on Mirror Now. See, I totally agree with you. Not only have we been unlucky, but this is going on and on. We need to now start standing up for ourselves. For example, if this was, I don't want to bring in cricket here, but if this was cricket, trust me, these things wouldn't have happened to us because of our soft power on the other side and how much BCCI pulls. Now, India being the power we are, we need to actually start like our great external affairs minister Jaishankar. We need to have somebody like that, speaking for our athletes, because it's not happening in just one sport, and it's not happening once in a while and it's a coincidence. It's happening again and again. I think there is a concerted effort to somehow keep us down, because the way we Indians have been coming up in the last decade and beating everybody and being world champions in almost every sport, you name it, and we are there in the top 10. There's some people who cannot take it, and you say that racism is not there. I do not believe so. If racism was not there, there wouldn't have been a Black Lives Matter movement in the US even after 200 years of independence, or in England what we are seeing in London right now. I mean, racism is prevalent everywhere. So I truly believe that we need to have some kind of a system where artificial intelligence and VAR systems are so good that you don't need to go on human intelligence anymore or make it subjective to some human being deciding. See, Ashish bhai, it's not about one
A
match.
lot of
Yes, we were
questions,
lucky in
Ranjit,
the
have been
hockey match.
raised about the scoring system. You're
Yeah,
also talking
it's not.
about the soft power, and of course, a lot of people are going to talk about that as well. But again, the fact of the matter is, it's just, it is not right. The fact that someone trains for 4 years, 4 long years, qualifies for the Olympics, puts in all the hard work that's required, and then his future, his medal tally, his, of course,
Life,
future in the
life.
games is decided by a scoring system that a lot of people believe is already flawed. It's
Yes,
just not
not only
fair.
that, it's his life. It's not just one match. People think, okay, it's a match. It's not. He has been preparing for this single match for the entire life. It's his life that you have been unfair to. It's not. So people think it's just one match. So if this hockey team, by the way, would have lost it the same way, there would have been at least 10 of these players who would have never played in Olympics again. This would have been their last Olympics. So it's not one match. They were entire lives. They have been building up to this moment. And one stupid decision by one person who thinks is right and is blatantly wrong. And everyone, see, it's very, very stupid. What is astonishing to see is if we all, billions of people, and not only Indians, everyone can see something on TV, but the man which matters the most, which is the referee, he can't seem to see it, then there is something wrong. Because how can 1.4 billion people or even the whole world, I mean, it was not only Indians, everyone was saying that we were cheated in the boxing match and everyone was supporting us and then that he should have won. In fact, the round he was supposed to have lost, the third round was actually his best round where he was the most aggressive. So when we have this kind of a thing going on and the Indian Hockey Federation, by the way, this kind of a thing happened with Canada. Okay, so Canada's football coach, if you know Priestman, the lady coach of the Canadian football team, she flew a drone over the opponent's team and she was banned by FIFA. They were docked 6 points in the Olympics and they were made to pay because they were people who stood up for them. And the same way, imagine if you were going to be docked 6 points and done this. What the goalkeeper of Britain did was taking an unfair advantage. So if suppose an Indian had done
also,
it and
Ranjit,
they had done this to
how
us,
do you look at the questions that are being raised about this scoring system? Because a lot of people are thinking that this is again a scoring system that really needs a lot of review. This was brought, I believe, in 2013. In fact, in 2021, 36 judges were suspended because they were found manipulating the system using this exact scoring system. So clearly, it's not just Indians feeling bad, we are not just sore losers, but it's the fact that there is a flaw in this particular scoring system and it really needs to be relooked at. And what's more sad is that it's actually ending the dreams of several Olympians now. For example, Nishant Dev, we're not sure if he'll come back in the Olympics next time. It could have been his last Olympics and then he had a good chance. He's played well. You're literally ruining careers because of a flawed system.
yeah, so see, when it's not the sportsman's fault. I mean, you do everything you can on the ring or in the field or on the mat, and then you lose not because you were not good enough. That's what hurts. You were good enough, but some scoring system let you down. Oh my God, that will stay with you for the rest of your life. That is something which no athlete can ever recover from. Why? Because it was not his performance. What else can you do? If your own sport or your own scoring system lets you down, and it's not now. So this has been going on for a decade or even more, this scoring system controversy. So it's now high time that we actually go to CAS, the Court of Arbitration for Sports, and do something about it because we need to. Otherwise, we will always be on the losing end of these things and talking like this.
A reform is very much needed, Ranjit, like you're saying. Edgar, coming back to hockey now, you were talking about everything that went wrong in that match. Now we've won the game and not a lot of people are talking about it. Of course, there's been an official complaint that has been lodged, but it was very evident what was happening. We were all looking at the TV screens. We all saw the iPad in the hand of the goalkeeper. We all saw him being coached from behind as well. How did the referees, the umpires miss it? It's just hard to believe.
Yeah, that's what. It's really very hard to believe. And okay, if the umpires, the referees have not seen it, what about the technical table which is there right in front of you? The technical, and mind you, in a shootout, they have at least 4 of technical people who are there right there on the ground. And if they have told, being a goalkeeper, I know in shootout, they dedicate the goalkeeper to the corner where he's supposed to stand. And I don't know whether they have just turned a blind eye to him carrying the iPad, because there's a vast of a difference between the iPad and the glove that he's carrying.
Edgar, what's more surprising is the fact that it didn't take them a second to actually spot what Amit had done. I mean, even though it was an accident, they admitted that it was an accident. It didn't take them a second to spot that. But when you look at what the Great Britain team was doing, they absolutely turned a blind eye towards it.
Exactly. And in the following match, if you watch Netherlands play Australia, there was a moment where another player was hit the same way, but there was not even a card that was given. So I fail to understand.
Exactly, Edgar. This is exactly what we're talking about, the inconsistency. When something like this happens in the India game, it easily goes against India. And when something like that happened in the earlier game, like you rightly pointed out, it was not given as a red card. So why is there such an inconsistency? I mean, how do
I
you
think
even
because
explain it besides
we are
the fact that this
basically
is clear biased behavior against India?
yeah, because we are basically soft targets, you see. That's what I feel. We are the ones who just take the cards and keep quiet. But this is not the first time that has been happening in Olympics in Tokyo. If you notice the bronze medal match where India played Germany, and in that last penalty corner which Rijesh again saved, the ball had already gone out of the circle, but there was another 3 seconds additional paid to that. Where it says once it's time
Right.
out and the ball is gone out of the striking circle, the match is being called off. But they have played another 3 seconds. So this has not been happening off late. This has always been happening. We need someone up there who can talk and who can show that we also stand up. Yes, Mr. Bajaj, go ahead.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Ranjit, I just have to add one more point to it because Edgar rightly pointed out the inconsistency. Now, we are not complaining about what they've done to India, what they turned a blind eye to, but when you actually take a decision against India and a similar incident happens in another game and you don't take any decision in that favor, it just doesn't make sense. And it's not just about the Olympics, it's not just about these two sports. Let's talk about India versus Qatar game, the World Cup qualifier. We saw the ball going out and yet it was given a goal. I mean, time and again, except for cricket, every single sport we seem to be the soft target.
I totally agree. I totally agree. And in fact, we need to start like Edgar said, I think that we need to start standing up for ourselves and being like we do in BCCI. They've been trying to force us to play in Pakistan where we are going to be attacked by terrorists, but we put our foot down and they can't do anything. And nobody else would have been able to do that. But we can. Now, see, the point is we need someone to be able to take that charge up. Like we said, our external affairs minister, but we need to have probably a sports minister or someone like that talk about this at the international forum and level, that if you are going to do this and you're not going to have an equal playing field and you're going to be biased, then we're going to call you out. 1.4 billion people are going to call you out every single time you're going to be biased against us.
Absolutely. I think Ranjit and Edgar, the biggest reply from India, the biggest slap on the face of the system would be by winning a gold medal here in hockey. And of course, Nishant has missed out, and that's a sad thing. But again, the Indian hockey team really has an opportunity here to answer back the critics and also then take this issue up. Hopefully, we stop looking at India becoming the soft target. And right, Ranjit, you also seem to be very excited about the game as well, as we all are. We're all hoping for the hockey team to go ahead because we really do see that determination this time around to actually go all the way. Appreciate you for joining us on the broadcast for this very special discussion. Of course, we'll be raking up this issue that seems to have been plaguing sports across different categories, and especially India seems to be on the receiving end every single time. Right.